Last week you said the contracts broke city law, but this week you said they were legal and binding. How did you go from point A to point B here?
Well, it's not that hard because the two opinions were consistent. It's like when the Supreme Court decides that, let's say, a confession cannot be admitted because it violates the Constitution. But if the Supreme Court doesn't say this will be given retroactive effect, it's always prospective. So all those folks sitting in jail can't run in to the Supreme Court and say, now, wait a minute, I had the same kind of situation. Similarly here, when I was asked a week or two ago to give my opinion as to whether I thought DCHA, even though it's an independent agency funded principally with federal dollars, whether they should submit their contracts of more than $1 million, financed with local money, should be submitted to the council for approval, I said yes. That left the question as to what happens to the prior contracts, the contracts that have been apparently going on for 8 to 10 years. And I said, consistent with my view about the law and in accordance with a lot of case law, that those contracts that were awarded before my opinion, if in fact people deem my opinion binding, are in fact lawful and will not be disturbed. But going into the future, I have advised the DCHA that those contracts should be submitted for approval. I trust they will do that.
And if a recreation center has been rehabbed or a field has been redone, I mean, there's no way you can go back and undo that contract, so it's a matter of practice. But I think the politics of it bother me more than the legalities, because I think those can all be worked out.
What do you mean? The politics is what keeps you in business.
Well, of course, that's why it bothers me. But, for these contracts to have gone through the housing agency, and surprise, they were awarded to friends of the mayor. I mean, close fraternity-type friends of the mayor. One person gets all 12.
Omar Kareem.
Well, that makes it an interesting story for you, but I have no indication that the contracting process was in any way manipulated. I don't know who the mayor's friends are.
I don't know whether it was manipulated or not. I just know that the result is that this person gets the contracts, and maybe he is in fact the best person. It does seem, though, you've heard the complaints that the mayor's fraternity friends are getting too many. Of course, it's a big fraternity, but the mayor is.
I said that last week.
But the mayor
thousands of people.
But the politics of the situation is the mayor seems to be guiding contracts to his friends. Now, every politician basically does that, but the question is, how heavy is the hand moving the contract? In this case, it looks pretty heavy.
I don't think so, because in this case, the mayor did nothing that related to the contracts. The contracts were given out by an independent agency that has principally federal funds to disperse. So the mayor had nothing to do with what DCHA did. The mayor had nothing to do with competitive procurement. The mayor had nothing to do with the selection of the individuals or companies who got the contracts. It makes a lot better story to say, well, some friend of the mayor got the contract, but the point of the matter is that the mayor had nothing to do with the contract.
Did the mayor make the decision to use this bypass channel of the housing agency? Did the mayor have that? Did he make that decision, or did some official make that decision?
I do not know who made it, but my guess is that the officials of this administration followed the officials in the Williams administration, that this is a long-established practice.